Savannah Bailey is the Senior Director of Player Relations and the visionary founder of Gator Made. This is within the University of Florida's football program. Nearly a decade of experience in student-athlete development, Savannah has become a national leader in holistic, football, purpose-driven programming that equips student-athletes for life beyond the game. Her work is rooted in leadership development, personal growth, and empowering athletes to understand their value both on and off the field. Before launching this, she served with distinction at the Clemson University, where she helped shape the nationally respected Paul Journey Initiative. A current PhD candidate in educational leadership at Clemson, she holds a master in counseling with a focus in student affairs. Savannah's unique blend of STEM intellect, student-centered programming, and a heart for service allows her to connect deeply with today's athletes, fueling transformation and not just transition.
That sounds so fancy for me, about to just like wreck all the things you just said.
You know what? As long as you come in like a wrecking ball, I'm not even mad at you.
You know, I'm wearing my clothes though. Like,
at this point, we might as well just freestyle. But what really is it about you that made people buy into this vision that you had in your head?
Yeah, I was really lucky, because it's definitely not me, right? I was really lucky to have great mentors. I've always had really good mentors. I've not always had the most stable of situations or circumstances or support systems, but I have found really incredible people. So like when I was at Clemson, I had Jeff Davis, who's the founder of Paul Journey. And I showed up at his door and I said, I just want to volunteer. Right? I actually showed up being an operations intern, and I asked, what is that? And he said, well, why don't you go downstairs and meet him? And so just plopped my little self down and just stayed intellectually curious, because I don't think I am the smartest, most interesting, whatever. I just want to be interested in other people. And so I think that is actually what makes the difference in things, because I don't want things from people. I'm not going to, force relationships and things like that. I'll happily build it with you. So that I think is what makes a little bit of the difference in the vision part, because people can feel it instead of just seeing it.
Definitely. It's just so much depth looking into her eyes. I'm like, at this point, we just having a girl talk.
Yeah, sorry.
So you talk about curiosity, right? And I've always been someone that's very curious. But sometimes being curious can come with anxiousness, because you have all of these thoughts and all of these interests and passions. And so from Paul to where you are now, what would you tell that little or younger self, right?
No, I was a year older than the oldest players on that team, right? And I had to act grown, right? And I was still figuring things out. Like, I was still a grad student. That's what most people are in the sports world. They're a young person themselves, also going through the same things while trying to teach young people how to young people. Like, it's hard. I think in mine, I am an anxious person, naturally. I am a busybody. I got to do stuff. I don't sit down. I have a treadmill in my office. I know that I have to give people space, so it never appears that I am micromanaging them. I'm going to go pace over there, right? Because I'm not about to bring my anxious energy to someone else. So I have to be able to recognize that. And I'm really thankful that I've had people tell me when they are receiving that energy. Because I know that's not always the case. Some people might not know that their anxiety is present and is affecting other people. And I've been fortunate to have really outspoken folks that are great at communicating with me, like, hey, did you know when you do this, this is how it makes me feel? What a light bulb, right? And like, if I ask for someone to be authentic and genuine with me, that's what I mean. In the same way that I would hope that I could provide something like that to them in return.
Right.
And so I am anxious. I do. I try to sort it out to be productive, or to be, what can I channel it to do something proactive or something that doesn't alienate people. I also go to a therapist every week. She hears it all.
Heard that.
She hears it all. So, just compartmentalizing some of those things and recognizing like how you show up in spaces.
Showing up is 100% out of the 120 that you need to be to just be a successful person. And in order to do that, right, personal development is human development, but human development starts with just simply being a good person. So you talked a lot about this youth development piece, but showing up for yourself every day, that 100%, it was going to affect everything that you were doing. So when you were in this space, and as you continue to be and grow into different spaces, what is one factor or one characteristic that you feel like you just simply cannot live without moving forward?
I've said this before, it's what I look for in hiring people too. Are you a creative person? Because I think creative people are natural problem solvers, innovators, the things you cannot teach, right? All right, do you have that, let's try something, what about this, without fear, possibility? And I think that's what helps in my alignment of things, because as a person, I want creative outlet in my job, right? I want to be given autonomy to, hey, let's try this thing, let's push this guy, let's go this place, but also like for guys to have that experience, and guys being, the student athletes we serve every day, to have that experience to also be like, well, I can do that again, right?
Right.
The biggest blessing of going and taking abroad trips or abroad service trips is when they come back and they say, where are we going next year? Or I'm going to go here for our next break. And you have now created someone who's more interested in the world instead of just where they're from. Their worldview got expanded because of something you decided to help create. So, creativity.
That's the most beautifulest thing. Coming into the industry and always having fingers pointed at our generation, like, you need to do this and you're our future, but not giving us opportunities to be creative and innovative, it's scary. And I think it can leave you paralyzed, and that's where the fear of success and fear of failure can happen now at the same time, right? We have guys and student athletes that are seeing $40,000 checks every month without putting any work in, and or haven't even made it to the league yet. So we have so many layers of identity, right, that we have to go through. And so you identify as Savannah, but to other people that don't know Savannah, who do you want them to see?
Well, there's some things that are just like salient, right? And then people kind of go, wait, how did you get your job? Because you are a blonde, millennial, white woman working in football in Florida. What? And I recognize that, right? I have to know that that is what people see. And so making sure that I give every opportunity for people to show up as who they are, and for people to also understand who I am, right? Even in this, he said, like, I'm abandoning these cards because this is a girl talk at this point. That's what I want from anybody, right? I've told people before, like, we can do the sexy presentations and the big trips and the whatever, but that talk in the parking lot, that walk, that whatever, that's where, like, life-changing conversation happens.
Right.
It's not in, let me give this deliberate, and put it out there. No, like, it happens in intimate moments. And so when people say like, oh, well, who are you really? I'm a servant person. I'm happy to be here. And I'm here to connect in like intimate ways, right? How can I get to know more about you? We met in the bathroom,
Literally.
right? We're talking about curling hair. She's got beautiful hair.
Thank you.
And I'm over there like coloring in my eyebrows. Like, that is an authentic thing. It is not me waiting to be like, oh, and what is your name? And da-da-da-da. No, like you have to show up that way all the time. It can't be fake, it can't be forced, and if that's not who you are, that's fine too, but you better figure it out. So, that's mine.
So, back to perspective, Edward Jones created such a beautiful platform, knowing that you've created something, right, as well, and you being in this space, what does beyond the field mean to you?
Yeah. I think any chance that people can create community around what matters to them can change their lives.
Wow.
Being a woman in this space, being, still fairly young, like, I don't know what I don't know. And I want to learn every which way that I can. I believe in, reverse mentorship and everything else. There are things that I just want to invest in. And people is that thing. Myself is that thing. And I think Beyond the Field allows people to do that.
Yes.
You know, I think it's a secret. Can I go ahead and share it? Is this live?
No.
Okay, great. All right, great. So one of the things that all of the volunteers and helpers and organizers of the event, you know, for Ed, they made a book, right, of like, hey, will you guys sign this? And in it, I just said, Ed, thank you for making a place where I belong. Love, Savannah. And I think that perfectly sums up how I feel about Beyond the Field.
Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much,
you got it.
Savannah, for
Anytime,
coming
anytime.
and making me so full. And I wish nothing but love and light and success to you and everything
same.
that you continue to create in this world.
Same. You got it. Oh, God, we're going to cry, cut, get out of here.
Oh, cut it, cut
we got to
it.
go eat barbecue. See you later.